What is up, guys? Technical Stinkers here, checking in on our little 3D print operation for today. If you're unfamiliar or new to the channel, welcome. I'm a retired crisis actor and I'm trying 3D printing here at home. I'm not. I own a business that has nothing to do with 3D printing, and I got interested in 3D printing kind of as like a hobby and sort of thing, but I can't have hobbies that don't involve at least trying to milk a little bit of money out of it. So I'm trying this whole 3D print side hustle here at home, trying different types of prints, small prints, large prints, functional prints, art prints, to see if I can kind of make some money about it. I'm not that familiar with 3D printing, so I'm learning through the process. This is just exhibition, not instructional. So if you want to learn along with me, learn from my mistakes, maybe teach me something, maybe win something, be sure to subscribe to the channel. What am I working on today? If you've been following the channel, you know it's kind of the same song and dance here the past week or so. Been working on our hideaway thing, a functional print that we hope to put in my retail stores and also online. Got some developments there. Been working on these large prints, and so let's just see what's on the plates. All right, Vern, where do you want to start? Let's start up here. Cobra 1, 2, 3, and 4, all printing, all done with our hideaway box. So I did a dedicated content on it. I did other videos on it. The dummy HVAC vent hideaway thing. This is the back tub section. You can see I made the holes a little bit larger, had a filament change here from the last of my regular PLA back into the Rapid PLA Plus. Now this section goes into a wall, so I'm not too concerned about that. It's solid, 100% solid, 900 grams. So I'm gonna take these off the plates. We've got something a little, there's more development for this. I'll kind of go over that later in the office. Let's check the other ones. Here we go. On the P1P, our Stinkerette model is complete. Now, again, this character model is kind of not my lane. I mean, and if you've been seeing the character models I do, you know that they're a bit spicy. This is a little into the furry-ish zone, but Karinka, the designer for these, she made this for me because I asked her for a skunk model as a channel mascot, and it's super cool. I just don't know if it's for me, so I printed a big example that she could use on her like Cults 3D or wherever she sells her models. So that's the purpose of this model there. So we'll pop her off the plate and take a look at her in the office. Over here on the A1, so this beaky cryo grip plate, after the fact, I found out this is not like the Super Tack plate from Bamboo. It's a cold plate, so it doesn't need to be as hot, and that's kind of evident here if I would have bothered to look at it. You can run PLA 30 to 50C on this thing, and so that was cool. Did a test on that with this human skull, so this is a Homo erectus skull. Did it at 50C. Seems to have stuck just fine. Actually seems to be really, really on there. Let's try to pop it off, and this is the first print I ever did on this. So yeah, adhesion seems great. This plate, I don't have an affiliate link or anything. Just search Beaky, B-I-Q-I, cryo grip plate. If you want to check one of these out, I hope to get one of those Bamboo Super Tack plates to kind of evaluate and compare. I don't know that I really need a cold plate. I mean, you know, some of the advertising material they say is like, you know, you don't have to use as much electricity to heat it, but it's virtually no electricity to heat up a build plate. It's like, you know, 10 watts over the course of the print, and that's basically nothing. You're talking about pennies. I mean, I guess if you have a super huge print farm, I don't know that this would ever pay for itself, but you know, maybe if someone wants to do that math. But adhesion seems fantastic. Yeah, let's see. All right, so I tried to scale this up to be life size. Yeah, I guess so. Because when I was looking at it, it seemed bigger than life size. I don't have to measure. I measured my head and scaled it based on that. It's basically as big as I can get it on the Bamboo plate, but yeah, looks about to be life size, maybe a little bit big. All right, and so this is the skull section of our hippopotamus. We are halfway done, another 15 hours left on this. I'm using the Elegoo Beige Rapid PLA Plus, which is not the same as this Bamboo Matte Desert Tan. And this is what I really prefer. Oh, I forgot to mention, I did adaptive layer height on this to kind of address that. I did it to the maximum, or the thinnest, or the lowest I can with the 0.4 nozzle. And that came out a lot better. I gotta do that on the rest of them. But using this beige here, which has a glossier finish, it's the Rapid PLA Plus, it's not matte. So it's gonna be shiny, but I don't know if I want to run that many 1 kilogram spools of mat through the Giga. I'm already spec'd up and tuned up for this stuff, so that's what I'm going to run. And this is coming out pretty good. You know, kind of looking for that gapping issue I was having. I'm not seeing it. Plus, the model is basically all joined up, so bed adhesion, I'm not too concerned about either. Zero infill. There's maybe some lightning in it somewhere. Do I see any examples of lightning? Maybe in there somewhere. But this is looking pretty good. I think in total it's like right at 2,700, maybe closer to 3,000 grams. So that spool should cover it at another 15 hours. So we'll be taking a look at that on tomorrow's episode. And then after that, we've got to do another print ahead of the jaw. Because that car part, if you remember that car part that I printed, the guy reached out to me and he said that the one section was like kind of warped. Now, when I sent him the email of the part, I sent him pictures before I sent it. I don't remember any of them looking warped or anything, but he showed me a picture and like it is indeed warped. So I think, you know, the overhang on that one section of the car part just didn't have enough support until it contacted the support. So I'm gonna reprint it, just that one section, with increased support all the way through. It's like a spool's worth of filament. I got plenty for it. Do I have enough for it? Holy Toledo. Okay, so I may be able to get shotgun out some PET G today. I thought I had a lot of PET G. I had a whole mess of PET G. Well, I got this. Well, that should be enough. I need to order more anyway. Don't let me forget. All right, so let's grab all these things and put them in our basket and take them in the office and go look at them. All right, before I get too far ahead of myself, actually over here on the FlSun T1 Pro had something on the plates here as well. You probably saw the mid-roll time lapse. So over here, it's the first time I've taken the plate off this thing, doing these in PET G. Now what is this? These are for a Dummy 13, and I'm sure a lot of you already know what that is. Dummy 13 is a model. It's like a popular 3D print model. It's an articulated like mannequin dummy, like little toy thing. It's just a like a crash test dummy Optimus bot looking kind of toy, and you can articulate him in various forms. Someone came in with a suggestion in one of the comments saying like, you know, you should print and sell this because it's like, you know, an open season sort of license. But print it big. And so I took a look on Etsy, and the Dummy 13 model, the biggest Dummy 13 model I found, was advertised at 27 inches. And I'm like, well, I can certainly do things that are larger than 27 inches. I could do it life size because this model is broken down into like a skeletal frame and then armor components that go on the outside. So, you know, it's kind of like, I know I remark often about not wanting to do a lot of post-production. So this could be sent off as a kit, and that's great because this is, you know, a take it off the plate, you know, clean it up a little bit, put it in a box and ship it kind of thing. And I think having a life-sized like Optimus bot type deal, just, I mean, even as a prop for the channel would be fantastic. So I was like, all right, I want to do one on a smaller scale to kind of test it out, make sure, you know, things are good. The skeletal frame can't be printed in PLA for good reason. It needs, you know, needs to be have more durability, I guess, because it's being moved and articulated. So I did these in PET G. I don't have any ASA or ABS or anything like that, and I hope to work with those with the T1 Pro soon, but I had the PET G loaded in here, and I was like, let's just go for it. So again, the T1 Pro delivering super fast. You know, this whole plate of stuff printed at like 20%. It's a very heavy infill. Was like just over 4 hours to print, and I haven't snapped these. I'm not going to snap it together because I don't know what part goes where. But I'm really optimistic about that model because it seems pretty cool. Here's a picture of it. I'll put it here. It's on printables. It's a lot of different files. So I'm doing this one right now at 500% of original, which, you know, it's tough for me to sort of gauge how tall it will really be. But for instance, this is the thigh bone. So knee, waist, that's his thigh bone. So I'd imagine that the model will probably be at that 27-inch height of like the one I saw on Etsy. So if he's selling that for 90 bucks, This plate is the whole lower section. I've got another plate queued up, ready to run, because I didn't want to start it after I filmed this video because the T1's loud. Yeah, I mean, just printing these off, throwing them in a box, you know, within reason, once I get the settings down, printing them in various colors, you know, for a $90 rip, that's fantastic. So I'm going to be exploring that more. That could be marketed to kids as well, because it's, you know, like a kid's toy, educational toy, sort of, because it's like a kit you put together. The cleanup, I did these with brim. I'm not sure I would do that in the future. I don't think it needs it. This is all optimized to not need brim. So very, very optimistic about that. Let me know in the comments if you've printed a Dummy 13. What quirks and sort of things that you found with it. Did you print the skeleton in ABS or nylon or anything like that? Also got a little, my address showing. Also got a little surprise here, I think. Let's see. I think this is what I was hoping it was. These are my, come on Matt, we're live. We're burning tape. Yes, these are my slate coasters. So I've been talking about these a few days. They were delayed because of that bad storm. So these I'm going to put on the laser engraver for the skulls. So like the chimp skull, the crow, the raven skull, the human skull, any other skull that I do, I'm gonna, hopefully it works, laser engrave on here what it is. So like the scientific taxonomy name, whatever you call it, common name, and you know, maybe something else just to jazz it up. And then I could 3D print like a little stand that sort of, you know, holds it up. That way, you know, you get your skull, you got your little placard here that says what it is, and it's just a little bit of a nicer presentation. These are really cheap. Probably just pop these on, or just probably leave these on, because you know, these were cheap. They have that primitive sort of natural vibe to them. So really excited to test these out. The skull, so the one I just pulled off the plate, here's the silk one I did a few days ago. So, you know, certainly a size difference there. And if you remember on the silk, I was talking about like this being a candidate for adaptive layer height, because you know, once it gets to that top section, running a static layer height kind of, you know, leaves a lot to be desired. It's kind of ugly. So I did that on here just manually, you know, taking it to the limit of like however far a 0.4 nozzle will go. I think like a 0.08, just as far as it can go at the very top section there. And it really makes a difference, I think. The matte finish also kind of masks that, in my opinion. But overall, model looks pretty good. Got to pull off the supports, but you know, I'm confident the supports are going to be fine on this. It's that matte PLA. They always snap off crispy clean. Watch it just completely fall apart. Yeah, they're coming off good. So confident there. I can add another skull to the collection, even though it's, you know, not like an animal skull. It's just a people skull. But yeah, is this the? I can't really tell. My monitor is like this small, so. We're going to do the, like, you know, the progression, the evolution of man. So that's certainly cool. Yeah, I think that this is a winner. I got to try that FlSun or Sunlu, I'm not sure, bone PLA to really kind of test it. But I think this really gives the vibe. It gives the vibe to me, and other people have commented as well, saying like, you know, yeah, it does kind of look like bone. So optimistic about that one too. Let's take a look. What do we got here? Don't worry, your boy's not about to buy a suit and go to a convention here. But this is Stinkerette. This is from Karinka. So this is my model to her. I'll probably list this on the Etsy. Why not? I mean, it's completely SFW. It's a total PG model. Let's kind of see what the supports look like here. So this is all done in matte, bamboo matte. Don't think, yeah, there was no. It's all matte PLA, so I shouldn't have to worry too much. The white always seems to act a little funny, even like matte versus regular versus high speed. It always seems to act a little funny. I guess it's to do with the pigments inside of it. I just want to be real careful here on her face, because you know that's the money maker. That's what they say. That's what they used to call me, because I'm real pretty. They used to call me Matt Money Maker. Because I was always real pretty. So face came out really nice. It's like a furry model for sure. Sitting on this pillow. Colors came out good. Flushing volumes was a little concerned about. Top of her head here, like a little show through. And I think that's from when I painted the model. I should have done, and this is, you know, always a learning experience, I should have, at least on the top of the model and the top of the tail here, done like paint by layer, just to ensure that the core was like the white all the way up, and then, you know, done the touch-ups on top. Because I'm finding, like, as it's printing, I'll see it printing like the polygons in the interior polygons for, like, for example, her eyes. You can obviously make out to where during the design, the designer used like spheres for her eyes, and so when it colors this entire sphere even inside the body. And I do a repair before I print the model, but you know, it's fine. It came out great. I mean, it's a cool model. It's a nice large example. It's very large. We'll do this head for scale. So very cool. I'm going to send that off to her because I think she'll be impressed with that. I'm impressed with that. So yeah, for now, this is Stinkerette. She's the channel mascot. We're going to put her back here. How about, well, FlSun might not like that. But I'm not supposed to care what FlSun thinks. So our hideaway box here, we got the rest of our air return filter grills. Now, like I was saying in previous content, I wanted to get a box and make this more of a retail ready package, something I can take to my stores or just kind of have in a box and send out. But if I'm putting it in the stores, I can't just put this on a shelf, you know, because people are like, what the hell is that? It needs some kind of marketing material, some kind of label on it. So what I did was I just went on Canva and made like a real simple flyer of, you know, hidden stash, dummy HVAC vent, super easy install, kit, you know, everything included, whatnot. And I sent that print job to Staples, you know, for $10, and I'm gonna go pick those up today. So it's like on a nice glossy stock. It's not the best design. I'm not a graphic designer, but it does get the point across. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick those up today and then put this in a box, put that flyer on it, wrap it up, and then suddenly it's a bona fide product. So that's kind of the end sort of point for this, to at least get it into stores, and that's why I was printing a whole bunch of these. I still need to print 2 more, so I'll have 6 to send out. And then the remainder I'll just kind of have in back stock here. I've been getting traffic on this product since I listed it on the Etsy a few days ago. So that's encouraging. No sales yet, but I got it priced a little high, so I may adjust that down. Further to that, I was doing a separate content on the big guns. I reduced the prices on my big guns, the Glock, the Colt Python, the 1911. Dropped them all down. They're completely off my main Etsy now onto my art Etsy, Galleria 3D. Because I packed them up, I did that new boxing strategy, and then I could kind of evaluate how much I'm really charging for those and how much I'm making to bring the price down to hopefully increase the volume. Plus, you know, moving them to a new Etsy that doesn't have star seller status, that has no status, no history. It's going to be a bigger dice roll for the customer taking a chance on that. So drop the prices down. Anyway, working on all those things today. Gonna get another plate going for the dummy 13 model. Got a lot of optimism for that. Gonna get the car part going as soon as our hippopotamus is done, and keep going on the skulls. Hopefully get the laser engraver fired up, and gotta make a trip to the warehouse today because UJoy Bio's big 10-kilogram shipment came in for the sponsored print on the Giga. So I got a lot to do on the Giga. I got finished the skull section of the hippopotamus, the car fender, UJoy Bio sponsored print, lower section of the hippopotamus, big dummy 13. The Giga's got a full dance card, and that's good. Yeah, that's good. We want to keep that thing moving. So be sure to subscribe to the channel to follow along in that process if you want to see these big prints come off the Giga, and maybe decide if a giant format printer is, you know, kind of a good lane for you or not, or if you just want to enjoy the content along the way. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to like the video because it's a nice thing to do. I'm the Technicals. See you next time.